So as you all should know from part 1 of this series, people make decisions all the time that they instantly regretted moments later. But once again, thankfully we all have our phones on us 24/7 so we can record all the bad decisions people make. Hey, what's up IOers? I'm Mackenzie Smith and I will be your host today on the channel. So since you guys loved part 1 so much, we decided to make a part 2. And yes, I heard your comments roasting me for saying like, and literally all the time in the last one, so I will attempt to cut it down in this version. Both reactions, it's sometimes hard to articulate to the best of my abilities very quickly, so anyway, without further ado, let's get right into the regrettable moments that you were all here for. Starting off with number 10, Doll-Eyed Girl. Okay, so I wanted to start off this list with the thumbnail of the last video, as I'm sure that's why a ton of you clicked on the last one. Sorry about the clickbait, by the way, but sometimes the people that put up the thumbs don't always check with what's in the actual video. You know, they just want to make the most appealing thumbnail, so you guys click. Please forgive us. Okay, so this one is just incredibly gross and makes you feel some type of way. It's really hard to describe. But a few years back, this actually made headlines all around the world, as a girl from Brazil wanted to see what having blue eyes would look like. So she decided to take out the eye from one of her dolls and put it right in her own eye. And just the image alone is enough to give anyone nightmares for weeks. The child's mother also recorded the whole thing on video, where you can see the girl panicking while the mother is trying to investigate the eye. Then finally the mother somehow manages to get the plastic eye out of the girl's eye, and you can just feel the relief through the screen for both of them. But I'm also just so intrigued at how she actually got it out, because she didn't show her actually doing it. Like for contacts, people do the thing where you kind of squeeze it together and then they kind of pop out. But since this is hard plastic, I guess the mom might have had to like get it under her nail and sort of pop it out. I don't know. This one is just making me beyond uncomfortable though. Also, I just need to end this off by shouting out the mother for handling this whole situation so well. If I came to my mom with that, I don't think she would have been so cool about it, let's just say that. If you're a mom, please tell us below how on earth you would handle that situation. Me as a mom, I'd probably be like just trying so hard to keep it together while also simultaneously freaking out and calling an ambulance or something. Next in at number 9, I don't think that's toothpaste. So in this one you see a side by side. The first picture shows a clearly used toothbrush and toothpaste, and the brush looks to have some toothpaste still on it. But the caption says, started the day off poorly. So then when you look at the right picture, you see that the thing you thought was actually toothpaste was diaper rash relief cream. Ugh, okay. So this one I can definitely see happening in everyday life. Like the bottle looks exactly like toothpaste. I think this might be a slight design flaw, but then also maybe they didn't think that people would have it in their bathrooms. I mean, isn't there usually like a little place in the bedroom for changing where you have that kind of thing? I don't know, let me know in the comments. But I gotta say for this one, I mean, how do we know that it actually tastes bad? I'm sure it's not minty fresh like he had hoped, but I feel like it easily could have been a lot worse. Okay, so I even googled what does diaper rash cream taste like, because I was trying to be really diligent in this video. And I actually came across a message board where someone said that their dog ate this, and then after the dog threw up everywhere they discovered it was toxic for dogs. So I'm sure this person didn't actually eat any, but I really hope you're okay if you did. Next up at number 8, watch out! RIP headphone users. This next one is something that could have been straight out of influencers in the wild. So this one is a picture of a tweet that reads, "This is a nice place to take a pic." Then it shows a series of pictures of some girl, and it starts off with her standing in front of a railing that's clearly beside a body of water. But then from the other pictures you can see that she gets blasted with water while she's standing there taking some pics. Okay, but also how? Do we think this is a wave? But I just don't think a wave could be so huge all of a sudden. But then also, what else could it be? It's not like a boat's just like rolling up splashing her. But either way, it's clear that she regretted this. I think it's safe to say a drive home in wet clothes is probably the worst case scenario for most situations in life. Hopefully she got some good pictures before she got soaked though, because that's always the goal with influencers in the wild. Next at number 7, don't mess with birds. So I think it's a universal truth that we all learn at some point in life that you just don't with birds. Like, just don't do it because they're hella vicious. Well, it seems that this girl is learning that right about now. So this one shows a side by side of before and after the regret. In the first one, she looks calm, cool, and collected while she's posing for some photos with some birds, you know, all cool. They're for decoration, I guess, I don't know. But then she must have upset one of them by getting too close or something, because in the second one, you can see her starting to freak out and one bird is flying around like crazy. You can also see that one of the birds is really close to her head and looks like it might actually be flying like right into her face. For her sake, I hope it was just a scare tactic by the bird and it didn't actually hit her, but again, I hope she learned her lesson here that animals are dangerous and they're probably not the best prop for photos. Next in at number 6, check the size. Okay, so I'll admit, I've done this one a few more times than I would like to admit. Basically, it shows a caption saying, I ordered a chair for my room off Amazon, and with a side-by-side of what she saw on Amazon versus what she actually got in real life, which is basically just a doll-sized chair that can fit in her hand. This is a true example of when you see it online versus when it arrives. But I just gotta say, I feel you on this one. I've ordered stuff like makeup holders and even a backpack that ended up being way smaller than it looked on Amazon, because let me tell you, everything is bigger on Amazon. Somehow they just get the right angles and backgrounds just right to dupe you into thinking that it's way bigger than you think and that you're getting a great value for your money. But sadly, as soon as you actually get the item, you regret not checking the dimensions like you should have before you even ordered it. Maybe this is where guys are taking their notes for dick pics, because I feel like a lot of these are, you know, not true to size, if you know what I'm saying, ladies. Halfway through number 5, holy. Okay, I'm sure everyone here that has bought a cute bathing suit from one of those cheap online stores can relate. So in this one, a girl shows a picture of her sitting outside with some leggings on, but these leggings aren't like normal leggings, and instead they have a bunch of little holes in them. Hopefully the title is making a little more sense to you now. And then she shows another picture of her bare legs a few hours later, where you can see the holes are now tanned onto her legs, and she will look ridiculous in shorts for the next few weeks. But yeah, I think we have all seen this one with bathing suits too. Like you buy something with a super cute cutout around the body, and then once you see your tan, you instantly regret it. This is kind of even the case with bandeaus. Like when you're wearing them, they're super cute, but then you tan in them and then you try to go back to a regular bathing suit, and then you look a little something like this. Where it's just the ridiculous, you know, you're all white here and then you can see it through the V, and it's just really not cute. Next at number 4, distracted doodling. This one hurts even worse because you just know she's gonna have to walk around school the whole rest of the day with that on her legs. So basically it's a picture of a pair of jeans with a ton of pen marks all over it. And the caption reads, I was just running my pen over my jeans while talking to my teacher and I didn't realize it was open. Help, I messed up. Yikes, this person's taken a huge L here. Like, can you imagine having to explain that to every person that you walk by the hall that day? Hopefully she did this in last period, or this is gonna be a painfully long day for her. Next in at number 3, I need some help. Now! This one is both hilarious but also extremely anxiety inducing. Basically these two guys get on a ride with one of those bar things that comes down over your head to keep it secure, but right before the bar goes down, the one guy kind of leans over to like hug the other guy, you know, like when you're grabbing for comfort type thing. Well, as he's doing that, the bar comes down, trapping him in that position. So at this point while you're watching, you're kind of laughing, but then you're starting to freak out a little bit, because if the ride actually starts like that, he could be in some serious trouble. He's just like this, like the bar is here and his like neck is held back. It's really bad. Thankfully the workers saw him and fixed it before the ride actually started going, but gosh, that was a close call. And you can see the instant regret on his face as soon as the thing came down. Next at number 2, you played yourself. This is one of those amazing moments where someone gets instant karma and gets exactly what they deserved. So here you see a guy come into some sort of shop and try and rob it, but he does this without seeing where the actual worker is. Unfortunately for him, the employee is actually sitting close to the door, and as soon as he tells her to open the register, which is on the complete opposite side of the store, she just decides to walk out of the place. Taking some other customers with her. Then having the insanely brilliant idea to lock the robber inside the store. Like, just chef's kiss for that woman. And then you get to see the moment when he realizes he's locked in and starts to freak out. Then the cops come and arrest his sorry ass. Ugh, I just wish all of these could be like this. Just so satisfying. And finally taking the number 1 spot, D's get degrees. Shout out to anyone that knows that saying from university. We used to say that a lot. So this is one that could have went really bad. Thankfully everyone ended up safe after this. I think. Here you can see a professor in front of a class teaching, and he says that he's gonna combine sodium and water in his beaker. At least that's what all the comments said. So he takes the beaker full of liquid that we think is water, and then he puts some sodium in it. A few seconds after nothing has happened, he kind of like stirs it around, and then boom, it explodes right in his face. Thankfully he's wearing glasses, so he doesn't actually get anything in his eyes, but this is so embarrassing on 2 levels. Firstly, it looks like this guy's a professor, and although I didn't know putting these 2 things together would cause an explosion, I don't have to know because I'm not a teacher. And doing that in front of a bunch of students is just gonna tarnish his rep forever. And then secondly, the fact that he did this in a room full of students that can tell everyone else about this and then take recordings on their phones means that there's a chance he could hurt a student, which would have been really bad for whatever teaching career he has left after this. One commenter on Reddit summed it up perfectly, saying, "There's an entire generation of D+ students who are now becoming teachers." Well, I guess we're all screwed then. Okay, so that's all for this list. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Are these ones just as good as part 1? And are you guys interested in part 3? Because trust me, I could make a lot more videos on this topic. But now let's get into some comments from part 1. Miss Royal Princess said, "Oh, that's hilarious. One time I went outside after a shower and my hair got icicles while I waited for my bus." Yes, I feel you, girl, here. You are not alone. I think anyone in Canada can relate going anywhere after a shower. Then Molly CL said, "The rodeo girl, I couldn't stop laughing. That's the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time." Seriously, I rewatched it a minimum 12 times in the office. Please Google the full video if you haven't seen it already. It's iconic. I'm so sorry we couldn't include it in the actual video. Then Tammy D said, "Thanks for posting this, IO. I feel like a freaking genius compared to some of these people." And that is what we are here for. That boost of confidence when you know you have a little more common sense than somebody else. Okay guys, so that's all for the video. Thanks so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, hopefully. Follow us on our socials if you want to be kept up to date with our lives, and we will see you guys in the next one.